What's up, everybody? So today I made a post about selecting programs to which you want to look into to see if you're actually going to apply when the application cycle opens for 2020, 2021. Okay, so I wanted to go through the process. This is day one, post one, step one of several steps that you can take to help you determine which programs across the United States you want to apply to. There are over 260 programs in the US, so it can be kind of daunting to figure out, okay, of this huge list, how do I know which program is right for me? And how do I know which programs are the best value, right? So this whole series, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what are those things that you need to look at? What do you need to find, okay? And this all starts on PTCast's main website here. So this is ptcast.org, okay? And anyone can go and look at this at any time. So what we're going to do, I've gone through and I've clicked some windows just so you don't have to deal with watching my load time. Okay, so program directory, list of programs. That's where we're going to go. Okay, so once you come in here, you can get a map that shows you literally everywhere in the US. These are where PT programs are. And this is pretty cool because this, you literally could take it down to the neighborhood of, is there a program that's close to where I live, right? Very heavy on the East Coast, not so much out west, right? Like definitely in California and other areas, but in general, very East Coast heavy. So that gives you an idea. It just gives you a visual of what you can look at, and then you can zoom in and out and figure out, okay, where's close to where I live? Why do we want to stick with local? So main reason being cost is the easiest way to start filtering things. Numbers are very easy for people to wrap their head around. So in terms of, is this program valuable? Is it somewhere I want to go? Look and start with the state in which you live or the state that you are a resident of, and then look around and see, okay, based on cost alone, which programs are valuable, okay? And another rule of thumb that you can look at is, let's for me, I'm in Arizona. So you can alphabetize this list, and I went ahead and did that so you didn't have to wait for me to load. But here I've got 4 schools in Arizona. Okay, so that makes my search a little bit easier. I've only got 4 programs to look at. So I've got AT Still, Franklin Pierce, Midwestern, and NAU. Okay, or Northern Arizona University. That's where I went to PT school. Okay. Now, to decide or determine easily or quickly whether or not a school is a state-run program or a public school or university, you can just look at the university's name and say, does it have the name of the state in which the university resides? So, Northern Arizona University, okay? A lot of times that gives you an idea that that school is a public university that receives funding from the local government to be able to serve the people in that area, right? So as a result of that, those schools are cheaper because they receive subsidized funding. And then private programs like AT Still, Franklin Pierce, and Midwestern, they don't receive that subsidized funding. And as a result of that, the students pick up the slack. Okay, sometimes they have generous scholarship programs and things like that, which are great. And that's why you should still do your due diligence and your research. But when we're just looking to start off, let's first look at public and local schools, okay? So let's say I clicked on Northern Arizona. It's going to pull up, this is again still through PTCast. This is information that they put on PTCast. There's all kinds of stuff on here. Social media channels that you can follow the school on, statistics about their class, deadlines, how much their deposit is, the average GPA and GRE scores, other things like that, whether or not they have a supplemental application, all good information. So this is why I tell people, start on PTCast because you can start to look at, have I met all the prereqs? Because you come down here and there's prereqs that are listed, right? Have I met all these prereqs? How competitive am I with my GRE and my GPA, right? Those different things you can look at. Also, now that we've looked at that information, we want to check cost. Now, at least on this page, at least for NAUs, it does not give us a cost. Some of them on PTCast I think do. I haven't gone through all 260, but to get the most accurate and up-to-date cost, you want to go to the school-specific website, which you could just click right here, and I got a tab right here. So this takes me to NAU's page. Okay, so all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to go to program data is usually where you're going to find that. Hopefully this loads. There we go. Good. So you come down here, boom. NAU, this is one of the things I love about this school. Shameless plug because I love NAU and they're one of the least expensive and best value PT schools in the country in my opinion. They have their cost of tuition right on an easy to see spot on their website. Okay, some schools try to hide it or bury it in some catalog where you have to go through and spend 15-20 minutes trying to add up all these numbers and different fees and blah 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 blah. No, NAU gives it to you straight. Okay, so you could look right here, total cost for an in-state applicant, $50K. That's good. Out-of-state applicant, $80K. That's still really good. And this assumes that you don't get in-state tuition, right? So that's in their Flagstaff campus, and they also have a Phoenix campus as well, which is slightly more expensive, okay? So that's the general process. So then I would look at, okay, that's my public university, and then I could go back to this list, and I'm gonna say, all right, well, I looked at all the public schools in my state. Let's go look at some of the private schools. And I'm not gonna go through all three of these, but then I would look at AT Still, Franklin Pierce, and Midwestern. And that would be my initial process. So this is step one, and we're going to have more process in the future where we can look at how do I also include out-of-state programs with this. I'm not saying don't apply to out-of-state. I applied to 5 out-of-state programs. I went to an out-of-state school. I attended NAU as an out-of-state applicant and got in-state residency. So I'm not saying don't, but just to start your search, that's what I recommend. Start with what you know, start locally, look at local public universities, and then check out private universities and look at their cost of tuition, things like that, okay? Stay tuned, more stuff coming tomorrow.